So the craziest thing I remember with that was when we would do back squats. Do you remember this?
Yes. I
We,
remember doing it two different ways.
the way I remember is we would have two of these old rickety wooden kitchen chairs.
Yeah.
I know I personally, so topic number one here with the home gym, minimalist edition. I have a little bit of a home gym that's at my mom's house when I was living with her. So all the stuff is still there. Um,
I
so I
had
know I have,
experience at that home gym.
what's that?
I had some experience at that home gym as well.
You had some experience at like the backyard. Um, we
That
just,
was a true minimalist home gym.
yeah, let's start there. Let's start there. Actually, it's a great place to start. So when we started, when you got me into CrossFit and we started doing it in our backyards 10 years ago, what is it? Yeah, 10
Yeah,
years ago.
10 years ago.
We had, I had a barbell with some weights that could probably go up to maybe it was like 295 or something in weights.
Yep.
And maybe there was a dumbbell involved
I
somewhere.
don't think so. I think it was a kettlebell.
Oh, a kettlebell. Okay. So
And
we
then
had a
we had
kettlebell and a barbell.
and a weighted vest,
Okay.
and that's it.
That was it.
That's it.
And how many, like, we were able to do so many things with that if you just got creative and were willing to risk your life a little bit.
A little bit. Definitely a little more than a little bit, but still a little. Just a little.
So the craziest thing I remember with that was when we would do back squats. Do you remember this?
Yes. I
We,
remember doing it two different ways.
the way I remember is we would have two of these old rickety wooden kitchen chairs
Yeah.
and we would put them like back to back with enough space for you to like get in between. And so
Yep.
put the barbell across the backs of these kitchen chairs and you had to like squat down to get them up out of there and then step back and
It's a half rep extra.
yeah, which is fine. But it was just, I can't believe we trusted those chairs, to be honest with you.
I would say that we didn't have a choice, but we definitely did. It was
Right.
fine.
Yeah, definitely.
The other way I remember is that we started there and then we just threw on weights on the side, one side at a time.
Oh, yeah.
So that was sketchy.
Uh, it's not necessarily recommended, but
No.
we did work out that way with just those three pieces of equipment
Mhm.
and then getting creative with some other stuff. Like I know we went for wall balls in CrossFit. You do these wall balls where you squat and throw the ball up.
Mhm.
But we didn't have a medicine ball, so we put the weighted vest in a backpack and did
Yep.
it that way, which is I thought that was pretty good, to
I
be
thought
honest.
it was great. Yeah, it was great.
And we did that for what? How many months do you think we did that?
So our initial goal was to RX 3 workouts in a row,
Yeah,
and then we'd buy some CrossFit clothes. And I don't know, probably about 6 or 8 months.
that's what I think too. I was gonna say like 6, 7, maybe 8. Yeah.
Hmm.
So we got it done, and like,
We used metal plates, by the way. They were not bumper plates.
oh yeah, all metals, a lot of divots in the yard from dropping the bar.
Yep, and when you don't want to drop a metal weight on your friend's mom's garage because you squat clean and fall, you like fall over slowly backwards. That's fun too.
Man. So
And we
those
did, okay, look, we did pull-ups. We used swing sets, we used
exactly.
trees, we used a clothes line.
Yep, a close like it had like a metal frame and then the wires are in between, so we used the metal frame.
Yes.
So that's what I was gonna get at. Like with just those three pieces of equipment and then just being creative with where you're gonna do a pull up. Obviously push-ups, you don't need anything, sit-ups, you don't need anything, bear crawls, all that sort of stuff. Like we found burpees, we found a way to do a lot of different exercises and I think get in pretty good shape with just those three things.
Yeah, definitely. Hill sprints,
Hill
you know,
sprint.
we didn't even do as many exercises as I would think of now, now
I
that we're
know.
10 years down the line, but like playground overhead, you could have done like single arm plate snatches or we did Turkish get ups with the barbell.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. We could have pushed a car too.
That's right.
We didn't do that, like
No.
so many options. Like if you really are just looking to get in shape, you're not trying to be a professional athlete or anything. You're just looking to stay fit. You can make it happen with next to nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically nothing.
Right.
Like look at gymnasts, all those guys, they don't lift any weights.
Yeah, all like the calisthenics thing has become like such a huge popular thing. What is it called? Like the bar something. There's like a popular one, like the bar kings or bar stars.
Bar stars. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like the prison workouts. Do you ever see those guys?
Maybe, but
They
I
just
can
do
only imagine.
park, yeah,
Yeah,
park calisthenic workouts, and these guys are massive.
I bet it's pretty wild. But let's move on beyond the bare minimum that we were talking
Yes.
about.
Bare minimum is literally what you can find laying around your house.
Yeah, that I call that the sketch. Let's call that the sketchy minimum. That's the sketchy.
Sketchy minimum.
So that was the sketchy minimum. What do we got now that we're a little more sophisticated? Maybe we have a little bit of money to invest in a few things, but nothing absurd.
So I had three things
All right.
and a half thing. So
Okay.
what's on your list?
Let me pick it. I think there was only like two or three things also. Let me see. Um, I would say two or three things on my list.
So I had a pair of rings
Okay, like it.
with straps. I had a pair of dumbbells
Pair of dumbbells, like it.
and so you could do without it, but I think having a plyo box, something to jump or squat to or do scaled push-ups on, if you have nothing, just a big open space and you have those three things, you're going to be able to do pretty much everything.
Yeah, I really like what you got going on there. I feel like I feel like your list is truer to the minimalist idea than mine, because you could put all that in a car,
Yeah.
like in two dumbbells and rings that takes up no space at all. And the
Right.
box, you could get rid of the box if you want and just get a new box when you get there.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if you have something to jump on or something that's higher, right? Because I'm thinking single leg squats or handstand push up scaling or box jumps. It sucks to do tuck jumps. You can totally do them, but it's way better to have that option.
For sure. I agree. I
And
like
then
your,
my like fourth-ish option was a pair of good shoes because that is definitely underrated.
I would say that's a given. I think we need that should be a given. I wouldn't count that in the list, but okay, I
Yeah,
like it.
that was my half item.
I like it. So my list, I'm thinking minimalist in terms of number of items,
Yeah.
but they don't fit in a car. Uh, so like the one thing I think is a great addition to your list would be a rower or a bike, one or the
Yep.
other. You don't need both, but one or the other, because your list doesn't have any cardio equipment in it. So I think one of those two pieces would be huge addition
Hmm.
to your list. So I like that combo. And then my personal bias, I just went with like a squat rack with weights. Obviously that could take up a lot of space,
Right.
but I'm thinking just these two things, you've got a squat rack with weights and a rower, and like,
Yeah, that's perfect too because the squat rack you can do pull-ups on. There's a
exactly,
lot of different options.
you can do pull-ups on it. And then with the barbell, obviously you can do any of those movements that you can think of.
So
With
yours, I like yours a little bit better if I'm just going to be at my house.
same.
But
Yeah.
if I'm trying to move around, I'm gonna go with the dumbbells. And you could even ditch the box and the rings. And if you want to go just down to one, just a kettlebell, just a single kettlebell, and you can get strong as hell with a single kettlebell.
Yeah, you could definitely be functional with one kettlebell for sure. No, you're right. I like mine if I'm just setting up a garage or a basement at my house and I don't want to crush the bank and I don't feel like, I don't need a legitimate gym. I just need to be able to work out myself. Then that would be perfect. Rower, squat rack, boom.
So yours is more like the $2,000 range.
That's probably where yeah, I mean, it might be a little more than that just because I'm thinking if you have nothing and you're trying to get all the weights too.
Right, right.
But, but yeah,
300 pounds, call that $300. And a rower, that's like you buy used, that's like 11 or 1200. A
I think you're
bar is
looking at
another
like 3,000.
250. Yeah. So that's like 1500 and then the squat rack. So can you get a squat rack with a pull-up bar for under 500?
Yeah, I'm probably, yeah.
Buy
I,
on Amazon Prime so you don't have to pay for shipping.
yeah, I would probably budget 3,000 if you didn't have any of it. But currently I have the bar and the rower actually. So
Hmm.
I would just need a squat rack. So that would be perfect. But if you're going to move around, or maybe you're in an apartment or something,
Yeah.
the rings, the dumbbells, great combo. I like that.
So when we used to do program workouts at our gym, they used to break them down into 6 categories: push, pull, bend, twist, lunge, and squat. Right. So what I tried to figure out is, with my equipment, with that list, could I accomplish everything for upper and lower body?
Yeah.
So it's really, really hard to do upper body pulling without a pull-up mechanism.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
You can do upright rows, you can do curls, you can do bent over rows, those kinds of things. But I really think that the overhead pulling down motion gives you a lot of access to muscles that you couldn't otherwise hit. And you can do core work because you're hanging.
Yeah.
Leg raises, you could do L sits, like toes to bar, all sorts of cool stuff like that.
And you know what? Just on that note, like sometimes rings seem a little, I mean, maybe not so much anymore, but they kind of were like intimidating piece of equipment, I think, for people, because I don't know, they just look like they're meant for muscle ups and that's it, kind of. But I like to think for somebody who's not into, maybe let's say CrossFit, or who
Mhm.
is intimidated maybe by the idea of rings, like what am I going to do with rings? I would just say get a TRX instead.
Yep.
And those things,
They're the same thing essentially, right?
they're almost exactly the same thing, but it's just a little more like, I don't know,
Friendly.
friendly, and it comes with a guide of exercises to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, rings definitely don't do that. But a TRX system can be more expensive than just a set of gymnastics rings.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I don't know how much TRX costs, but I think rings are like $40 maybe.
Hmm.
So
With a set of straps that come with it. And then all you need is a tree or a support beam.
yeah, anything really. One of my favorite exercises to do with for pulling would be those inverted rows.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my favorite. Put your feet up on a bench or a box or wherever. Just get parallel and pull up to your chest. Love that.
Anytime I've coached a class and like, oh, I'm going to scale down from kipping pull ups to ring rows, I'm like, bro, you're scaling up.
Yeah, I stopped calling them ring rows for people, because in what ring rows were used as like a way to scale the muscle up originally, or pull ups. And I think, I don't know, maybe this is just in our gym, but what you've seen is people oftentimes kipping those ring rows.
Ah,
Yeah, like using their hips to kip them and whatnot. So I stopped calling them ring rows, because people, again, were thinking that they were easy. And I would try at first saying, well, then you must be doing them wrong. But
mhm.
instead, I just decided to call it a new movement, call it the inverted row. And I'll just,
Call it the thing that it's been called for like probably 50 years before the CrossFit ring row term.
hey, man, sometimes it's about going back to the basics. That's
I have a
all.
new invention. It's called the pull up.
Hey, when everybody's out here pushing sleds and you're just like, wait a second, didn't we invent the wheel like thousands of years ago?
So we didn't have to do this.
You're a genius at that point. That's all I'm trying to say. Going back to basics. Anyways, call it the inverted row. Show
Yeah.
them that it's like the ring row, but I want you to keep your body real stiff, no bend at all, strict pulling. Make it harder by putting your feet up on something. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, these are super hard.
They're really hard. And then what you can do is put your arms in like you're doing a ring row. You bring your elbows down and then you do like a bicep curl, or you do a bicep curl from here with the rings. Oh man, it's super great.
Mm.
Give it a shot.
I never did that one. I like it though.